So to quote the great American philosopher, Dr. Phil, sometimes you make the right decision. And sometimes you make the decision right.
Summer I turned 18. We lived in a one-room rundown shack on the outskirts of New Orleans. We didn't have money for food or rent, to say the least. We were hard-pressed, and Mama spent every last penny she had to buy me a dancing dress. Well, Mama washed and combed and curled my hair, and then she painted my eyes and lips. I stepped into that satin dancing dress. It had a split on the side, clean up to my head. Well, it was red with velvet trim, and it fit me good. Standing in the looking glass, there stood a room where a half-grown kid had stood. Here's your one chance, fancy, don't let me down. Here's your one chance, fancy, don't let me down. Mama dabbled a little bit of perfume on my neck, and she kissed my cheek. I saw the tears welling up in her troubled eyes as she started to speak. She looked at her pitiful shack, and then she looked at me and drew a ragged breath. Your paws run off, and I'm real sick, and the baby's gonna starve to death. She handed me a heart-shaped locket that said, to thine own self be true. And I shivered as I watched a roach crawl across the toe of my high-heeled shoe. It sounded like somebody else was talking, saying, Mama, what do I do? Just be nice to the gentleman, fancy, they'll be nice to you. Here's your one chance, fancy, don't let me down. Here's your one chance, fancy, don't let me down. Lord, forgive me for what I do, but if you won't out, well, it's up to you. Don't let me down, your mama's gonna move you uptown. Well, that was the last time I saw my mom when I left that rickety shack. Cause the welfare people came and took the baby. Mama died and I ain't been back. But the wheels of fate had started to turn, and for me there was no way out. And it wasn't very long till I knew exactly what my mama been talking about. I did what I had to do, but I made myself this solemn vow that I was gonna be a lady someday, though I didn't know when or how. I couldn't see spending the rest of my life with my head hung down in shame. I may have been born just plain white trash, but fancy was my name. Here's your one chance, fancy, don't let me down. Here's your one chance, fancy, don't let me down. It wasn't long after a benevolent man took me in off of the streets. 1 week later I was pouring his tea in a 5-room hotel suite. I charmed a king, a congressman, and the occasional aristocrat. And I got me a Georgia mansion and an elegant New York townhouse flat. And I ain't done bad. Now in this world there's a lot of self-righteous hypocrites that would call me bad and criticize Mama for turning me out no matter how little we had. And though I ain't had to worry about nothing for now on 15 years, I can still hear the desperation in my poor mama's voice ringing in my ears. Here's your one chance, fancy, don't let me down. Here's your one chance, fancy, don't let me down. Lord, forgive me for what I do, but if you won't out, well, it's up to you. Don't let me down, your mama's gonna move you uptown. And I guess she did.
Wow.
The time-honored tale of a mother turning her daughter into a high-class hooker. Who can't relate to that?